All right, everybody, welcome to tonight's call. It is March 24th. We've got just about 6-7 days left in the period or in this month in order to hit Success Club 5, Success Club 10. So I know I'm going to be hustling, working my butt off to try to get to Success Club 10 here in the last week, which is never a good thing to do, but it is what it is. So hopefully, if you're not at Success Club 5 or 10, hopefully that is still a goal and you still have a plan in place to make that happen. And we're going to start tonight off with some recognition. This is going to be the team volume points for Stay True. And again, anyone who gets over 100 team volume points is on the list for the week. So I'm going to start it off, and we've got in leading it off this week was Gretchen. Gretchen had a total of 655 points. Dan Barry was chasing her down at 500 points. Lisa McClay was at 498 points. Courtney Miller, 340 points.
Lisa is brand new.
Lisa is brand new.
That is awesome.
So that's awesome.
Just so everybody knows.
Okay. Pardon the interruption, people. But no, that is awesome. Good job, Lisa, to have that many points early in your start as a coach. So then I'm at 305 points, followed by Beth at 279 points, Jennifer Novak, 270 points, Jessica Mag, 255 points, Nathan Jones, 195 points, Tom Namoff. Tom is not on the call tonight, but I know he frequently watches them the following day just to hear his name. But he's working the business hard. He has 180 points. Lindsay Steeprock had 180 points. Andrea Evanich, that's right. Okay, 160 points. I'm going to stop saying last names because I struggle with those. Danelle Johnson, 150 points. Tammy Rothacker, 143 points. Norma Miller, 135 points. Christina Snyder, 125 points. Linda Harold, 120 points. Rachel Hayden, 120 points. Linda and Rachel are sisters, so they were battling it out there. Excuse me. Christine Dasher, 105 points. Felicity Ashbrook, 105 points. Moppy Byler, 105 points. Rachel Wacker, 105 points. And Heidi Bezanik, 105 points. So I've probably butchered a couple names in there, but that's all right. I'm allowed to. I'm human. So, but no, again, congrats everybody on hitting those numbers this past week. And again, I look forward to continuing to track those as your team grows, as you start to get more and more cycle bonuses. You'll see those numbers do become more and more important to you, each and every week. So that's why we give recognition for those. So tonight's call, we're going to talk about asking for referrals. But before we get into that, I wanted to just mention a couple announcements. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. You probably are, but the Beachbody On Demand app, have you guys downloaded it if you have an iPhone? It's an awesome app. The nice thing about this is that you can download seven workouts to your phone, and you do not need Wi-Fi, so you can play them back without Wi-Fi. So you can swap those out, or like Beth and I are leaving tomorrow, so if we knew that we had 7 workouts to do and we wanted to do those on the beach, then we could do that without using our cell phone data, streaming, and just download them here at home and take them with us. So I think that's huge. That's big. If you're doing any kind of a fit club, I don't know if you'd be using your phone for that necessarily, but just leading a group exercise or something like that, you could have that on your mobile device. I haven't seen many people celebrating that or talking about that on Facebook, so I would encourage you guys just to maybe create a post and a check this out post, or I'm so excited about this post. Carl at the on the cruise, the session that Beth and I went to, he mentioned another competitor that Beachbody must be weighing our Beachbody On Demand against, because he said that's something that maybe Fit Right or something like that doesn't have. So, I don't know. I haven't heard too many people comparing our Beachbody On Demand to any other app or any other type of streaming service, but that's just something that we are the only ones that have the ability to download and play from anywhere without streaming or without using data to stream. So that seems like a big deal, or at least it was to Carl. So we definitely want to announce that and celebrate that. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about tonight, guys, is asking for referrals. I really think that we don't focus on this enough. I think that I personally need to turn my focus to this, and it was kind of brought to my attention when I was talking to one of my mentors who we were talking about, how I operate the business, how I'm running my business, the structure of it, my inviting process. And I went through everything, the whole inviting, how I'm inviting, and near the end, he kind of looked at me and he said, "So when do you ask for referrals?" And I kind of felt stupid. I was like, well, that's a good question, and I really didn't have a solid answer for him. And so he encouraged me to look into that and, ask some of my team or some other coaches, when do they ask for referrals? Are they asking for referrals? And I'm kind of pleasantly surprised that not a lot of people do. And the reason I say pleasantly surprised is because that's a huge opportunity for growth. What I was talking about with my mentor is that basically, he was telling me that when you have referrals from somebody, there's an immediate trust in the fact that when you go to the person that they've referred to you, then there's that immediate trust. You don't have to build that whole relationship from scratch, because they know that, if Gretchen referred, Beth to me, Beth would have confidence that since Gretchen referred her, then I'm not some creep I'm okay to talk to, or you can trust me. So despite Gretchen's eye rolling there, it's the truth. So, excuse me. So, that's something that we need to look at as far as referrals. And the more we talked about that, it just started clicking for me. And he understands the Beachbody business now. And he said that, there's different times when you can ask for referrals. There's actually, before you make a sale, you can ask for referrals, and that would sound, and I'm not too comfortable with this because I haven't really done anything or role played it or thought it through for Beachbody. But he mentioned that, before the sale, just saying, hey, listen, if I help you accomplish your goals, your weight loss goals, would you be happy about that? And of course they're going to say, well, yeah. And then you would go into, well, if you're happy with the results you get, would you want to tell other people about that? And, they'd probably be like, yeah, I'm going to tell other people about that. And then you say, well, then, would you be able to introduce me to them, or would you be willing to give me their name so that we could get them involved in a challenge group with you or a challenge group with us? And so what that does is you're not asking for them to write down names right then and there, but you're kind of preempting the fact that that's going to come down the road. So when they do have the good results, and then you do go back to them and say, hey, when you first signed up, we talked about that if you got your results and you were happy, then, you would refer people, or, you would recommend this to people, I guess is maybe a softer way of saying that. And so that's the kind of upfront, before you even make a challenge pack sale or a sale to the customer. That's one way of doing that. And, I'm still going to work on kind of like a script for this, just, as we have the invitation processes, the invite process, steps 1 through 5. I'm going to try and tie this in and develop some kind of a script for this so that you guys can just get the basic idea behind it. So that's one way or one time to ask for referrals. And the one that I'm more comfortable with is after the fact. So let's say Jessica has a challenge group going on, and she has a customer in there, and that customer, loses, I don't know, 15 pounds on the 21-day fix. And, Jessica's talking to the customer and just saying, hey, what were your results? How did you like it? Did you, what did it meet your expectations? Everything like that. And so what you do is you're kind of step twoing them, and the fact that you're asking them, how they enjoyed the challenge group, what they felt, what they liked about it. You're asking them, how much weight did they lose, and just let them tell you their story and get excited themselves. And when they get excited like that and are pumped up about their results, then that's when you can, a common question would be that I never ask people is, well, would you like to share that with other people? Or who do you know that you would like to share that experience with, or that you would like to help have the feelings that you're having right now? Can you think of 5 people that you would like to invite, to the next challenge group? And it's just, it's kind of staging them for, they're thinking positive, they're thinking about their results, and then who wouldn't then want to turn around and say, yeah, hey, here's 5 people that I'd love to have them feel how I feel after this past 21 days. When I first listened to Ryan, explain this to me and talk me through that whole process, I was kind of skeptical, because it's still, he even said, just if I'm meeting face to face with the person, then he said, just, take a pen, take a notebook pad, and just put it and slide it across the table and just say, could you think of 5 to 10 people that we could invite to the next challenge group? And then he said, just pick up your phone and shut up and don't say anything and let them start writing. So I'd have to work on that. That's something that's a little outside of my comfort zone to do, but I think that it makes sense to me. It makes perfect sense that we need to reach out to people and invite them, and ask them for referrals for the next challenge group. I think we've always talked about, asking them, hey, do you have any friends or family who would want to join? But I don't think we've ever been focused on it or direct about it. I don't know, maybe I'm off, maybe some of you have, but I know that we haven't really done any training on that. I've always mentioned it to people, make sure you ask them if they have any friends or family. But when it comes down to it, how many of us are actually doing that? And how many of us are actually following up with every single person who has been in, one of our challenge groups and asking them for, 5 to 10 names? I know for a fact that that's something that I don't do on a regular basis. So when you think about who to target to ask for referrals, I think the people who immediately come to mind are people who have been in your challenge group, who are having success. I mean, you don't have to wait till the end of a challenge group. You could, 2 weeks into a challenge group, you see people having results. And when they're having those results and you're connected with them anyway, and you have an excuse to reach out to them because they're in your challenge group, I think that's a prime time to reach out and just ask them, tell them, to have them tell you their story about the results they've gotten, how they feel, and then ask them if they know of 5 to 10 people who they'd like to share that same experience with. And then, so that would be kind of my, I guess you'd say your hot targets, or I hate calling people targets, but your hot, referral leads or sources. How's that? Your hot referral sources. And then after that, anyone who in the previous month, if you look through your customers and their orders, anyone who is a repeat Shakeology customer, or I would even say anyone who is a discount coach, I think we need to do a better job at reaching out to those people and saying, hey, you've been on Shakeology for 6 months now. What do you like about it? What do you notice, changes that you see in yourself about it? And so current customers, I'd say, would be the next people who we want to reach out to and just see, if they would be willing to refer 5 to 10 people. The nice thing about this is, when you start building a list of people that are being referred to you, then you also want to ask the person who has referred them to you, just say, and could you do me one more favor? Could you just shoot them a message and let them know that I'm going to be reaching out to them? That way you're not calling as a complete stranger. You're not messaging them as a complete stranger. But it's actually kind of a two-way referral, as far as, you got their name from somebody and that person is now expecting you to call them, so that when you do call them, it's not a complete surprise. So I would highly recommend doing that. Ask, whoever's referred to you, ask the person who referred them for their phone number or email, so that you have, it'd be great to have both, but if you just get one of them, then, that's obviously important, because how else are you going to reach out to them? And then what I'm going to do too is I'm going to look back through all of my customers so far this year, anyone who has ordered anything. I think it's a good excuse to follow up with them and, focus your attention on, did they get results? Are they happy with the results? And, if they say no and they're not happy, then that's just get them re-engaged, get them back into a challenge group. Say, okay, well, ask them about their struggles. What did they struggle with? What could you do as their coach to help them get the results that they were looking for? Don't be afraid to call those customers. I think we could probably all think of some customers who failed on our Beachbody products, and I think reaching out to them, and if they say they had a crappy experience, well, that's just a good reason. You can learn from that, and you can also get them re-engaged. Probably don't want to ask those people for referrals, okay? Because you're probably not going to get them. So don't waste your time there. So I'm going to look at 2016 year-to-date orders. Then I'm going to go back and look at 2015 and basically work my way back from December all the way through the beginning of 2015, and just look at all my customers, look at their orders. You can arrange them in your online office so that you do see the dates that they all ordered, and they'll arrange them by their order date. So you can just go straight down the list and take a look at that stuff. And that should really, because we focus so much on getting to Success Club by, I've got to invite X amount of new people, I have to make new contacts, I have to do this and that. Well, I think focusing on referrals and asking for those referrals is a much easier way to get, new contacts and new customers into our 5-step invitation process. So I'm going to unmute everybody.
I wanted to say one thing real quick. Are you done?
Yeah.
Even when you guys do a free group, like our free clean eating, or if you do, just a free challenge, I always ask people when they say they'd like to be in it, when I'm messaging with them privately, I always say, please feel free to invite some of your friends. So even customers, like challenge group ones, I basically, my first year, built my business on referrals, not necessarily that I was asking for, but have they're your captive audience for that 30-day group. So if you make it a fun group and a great group, it just naturally comes. Some of them just naturally come. But also brand new people, for the free groups, or sometimes when I sign a new person with a challenge group, I'll say, like, please, our group is starting April 4th. If you have any friends or family that want to join us, please let me know. So I don't think it's ever too soon. It's a no-brainer when they've had a good experience and they're feeling better and everything, but it's also okay. And like my group that's starting on the 4th, I was setting up the post in Hootsuite. And I said, even in there, like on the Friday before the group starts, like, who are you going to tell about this journey? And please remember, if anyone that you tell wants to join us, it's not too late, because they could always do, buy their program and use on demand. So I even just made a post in there So people know, like, it's not exclusive to just them. They can invite people, and then as long as, you know, they would jump on as a customer, they could join.
Yeah, and I think that's important, because if you think about it, if you're not saying that to people or reminding people to invite people to your challenge group, then it's kind of like if you had a friend who invited you to a party, and then, you know, would you invite your friends if they didn't tell you, hey, reach out to your friends and see if they want to come with you? You wouldn't invite anyone else, right? You'd just go to the party by yourself or with your spouse if they don't say, hey, you feel free to ask people to join the party or come to the party too. So think about that as your challenge group. So that's, you know, an awesome point, is that for challenge groups, be sure that you're asking and inviting them to invite.
Okay, so when you're talking, because I think I do more of the referral beforehand, the one that you don't do, I'm doing it beforehand, saying, this is going to be a lot more fun if you bring a friend. Bring a friend, you know, refer them to me. I do a lot more of that. So to be intentional, I think I'm intentional afterwards to say, you did great, you feel great, don't you want to tell blah, 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 and they say these 4 people, and then they're a coach.
Right.
So the referrals are happening. So are we talking, let's talk about referrals, and in our heads, are we always going for the coach opportunity first?
You know, I think that depends on the person. Who was it? Courtney, her name, what's her name? Amanda, or who's your mentor? Who was on our call last week?
I was like, I'm Gretchen. I mean, nice to meet you. I don't know.
I know. He didn't even give us anything to go off.
All right. But, you know, like she said, like Angela said, you kind of have to feel that person out. You know, if it's somebody who is probably not going to be a coach, I think that's touchy. When do you say, hey, why don't you make the money off of this instead of me?
Because if they're handing me 5 names, I feel like I owe them to say, I will take 30, 30, 30, 30, 30 off of all those bags of Shakeology, but wouldn't you like that in your pocket? I feel obligated that I need to at least
to always offer it. Like, you can just say, listen, this is an option, because, you know, like, oh my gosh, wow, I didn't expect you to have so many people, or that's awesome, you have so many people that want to join you. Let me tell you, like, this, we can do this 2 ways. And then because you don't want to scare them. Like, then they're like, oh my God,
right,
she just wants me to do it for the discount. But you can just lay it out there, just like we do with, oh, you love Shakeology? Okay, that's awesome that you're going to keep getting it next month. Let me just tell you, there's a couple options here. You can either just let your home direct keep coming, or you can sign up as a coach and get the discount. And I just think it's so important. I don't remember who I was just talking to about this, but it's so important to offer it. Like, we can't, or we were talking about it, Gretchen, we can't be afraid to present the coaching opportunity, because I know I've said this a million times, but if we don't offer it to them, someone else will. Mm-hmm. So they may be, you know, you don't want them to be on Shakeology for 6 months and they're so shy and you don't ever want to, you know, they don't want to be a coach, but it's still our job to say, this is an option. I just want you to be aware of this opportunity. You can take it or leave it. Because in 6 months, when their cousin is a coach and they're like, what, I've been buying Shakeology for 6 months. My coach never told me I could get a discount. You know, so just always like let everyone know what the opportunities are, and then you know, just present it as like, well, there's a couple ways we can go about this.
All right. Whatever you're doing, Gretchen, I mean, 21 Success Club points, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
So if you want to just take over the call and tell us.
No.
Next week.
Good. They're at 7 p.m.
Gretchen's speaking next week. The call's going to be at 4:30 in the morning. Whoever can get on. It'll be her and Glenn. That's it.
Dan will be.
Yeah.
And Ernie, he might be, depending on what shift. Jen said she'd be on it. What else? Anybody else have anything, any questions or anything to add? Courtney?
Just depending on the person, I'll either offer the coaching opportunity up front when I'm signing them up for a challenge pack, or I'll wait till they're like almost done with the challenge group to see if they want to continue Shakeology. So if you did a referral at the end, like they really like the program, and then you say, why don't you, and they bring you 4 people and you sign them up under them since they're a coach, do you take over being that person's coach by putting them in your challenge group and running the challenge group? You know what I mean? Like,
so the new
people, because your coach just finished her challenge group, and sometimes mine go into the next one, but do you step up and, if they don't want to work the business, what do you do with these customers then? Do they become yours that you're working with?
Oh, yeah, I take everybody in. I mean, I would never sell. I mean, like, I'll put people under, because I have so many discount coaches. If a discount coach's customer buys, I always offer them into my group. I mean,
right.
I don't want to leave anybody hanging.
And that's where you have a disinterested coach, meaning somebody who's maybe just a discount coach. They're not interested in working the business, but they still know a ton of people that you don't know. So the more you can get to know those people that they introduce to you, and the better relationship that you can gain with those people, then you'll have, by the end of a challenge group, if you're, communicating with them and reaching out to them, then you'll gain and earn a relationship to then ask them for referrals based off of their experience. And that's truly what this business, that's when it gets exciting, is that, you can utilize the relationships you have through other people.
Well, and if they, like, say like Moppy is a coach under me, but she doesn't work it, and then she invites her cousin, so I take her cousin into my challenge group. What if her cousin loves the challenge group and wants to sign as a coach? Then you're laughing because of the Latino thing? Seriously? No. Grow up.
Oh my God.
But if her cousin then decides, like, this is awesome, I want to be a coach, I mean, even if she's not your direct coach, that's still volume under your team. I mean, the more people, the better. So but I'll help anybody. Like, I help people that aren't even on our team, and I drive Glenn crazy, but
no, I think, that's a good point though, Courtney. I think it's important to understand how that can benefit, your business by reaching through other people, even if they're just a discount coach.
Yeah. I think it's a matter too of knowing that person. I have one of my discount coaches. She's just plain discount. She has nothing to do with business. And I had actually a friend that I met through her that came to me and asked me to join. Like, she just wanted to get a challenge back. So at that point, I didn't know what to do. So I just had like a just very transparent conversation with her. And I said, I know her through you. She wants to sign up. Do you want me to put her under you? Or do you want me to help her out? And at that point, she's like, you know what? I don't even. Thank you for asking me. Please put her under you.
Yeah, I totally agree, Moppy.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So you can always ask if you have that relationship with that person. You can ask her, would you want to help her, or do you want me to help her? Either way, you both can be on my challenge group, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And she was very appreciative of that. She's like, thank you so much for asking, but I really do not want to have to look into any customer service type thing into her account. So I just rather you help her out. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know. I mean, it's kind of interesting as I think of referrals and everything. I mean, as I look at the people who are on this call, I mean, I didn't know. I think it's safe to say I knew Dan maybe a tiny bit, but if it wasn't for Craig, saying, hey, a buddy of mine in Canton runs a Akron Canton Adventure Boot Camp. You should reach out to him. And it was Dan. You know, basically Craig referred Dan to me. So if I would have just ignored that.
Nobody knows who Craig is, but
that's her brother.
But yeah, I knew Dan.
Yeah.
I mean,
you knew Dan, but
yeah.
You know,
but
I was
yeah,
the one that,
I mean, this entire team has been built on, like, we didn't know, you know, like Gretchen, I met Gretchen through a friend of mine from elementary school that, like, is still in there. You know, they had a connection with Creative Memories. So, I mean, that's the cool thing about social media is you get hooked up with all kinds of people, whether you know them personally or not.
Yeah. What else?
So.
Anything else? Anyone else have questions, comments, anything?
Do you guys ever use like a bonus if someone refers you someone and they buy a challenge pack? Like I've said to people before, like, hey, if you bring someone on and they get a challenge pack, I'll get you a free copy of Fix8, you know, if they're doing 21-day fix or something like that. Has anybody done that and had success?
I think that that's fair. I think you can do that. There is a spending limit on it. I know in order to stay within compliant or to stay compliant with our legal department, $50
is
it's under $50 that you can spend, which I thought sounded high.
But I'll do that, Courtney. I mean, I haven't done it recently. I think when I've done that the most is like towards the end of the month if I'm really trying to get a challenge pack. But it's I don't even know when the last time we did that.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
But
I might have to this month, but I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, I think that's fine. It's kind of nice to give like a beach body.
If you do
you
that,
know, instead of giving like you'll see some coaches say, I'll give you a $50 like Nike gift card or.
Yeah, don't do that. Keep it. Here's the deal. When you look at that and when you do that, just make sure that you're giving them a Beachbody product. And the only reason I say that is because why wouldn't you? I mean, give them samples of Shakeology if they are not a Shakeology customer. If they've never tried Energize, give them samples of the Energize. You can buy the 10-pack of the Energize packets.
I mean, for compliance, you can really do anything, but they do have the $50 limit. And how did we word it? Even in our the coach sneak peek, when we came up with that advertisement, like, you know, we were giving away Shakeology samples or we're giving free gifts, we called Jemima, who's head of compliance, and just made sure that it's like she approved the wording of it because we didn't, you know, we have everything public and we didn't want anybody to get freaked out about it. But
other coaches is what I was concerned about.
So whatever our wording is in the sneak peek is what she said was she had us change something. Yeah,
because we were saying free giveaways or something. I forget what it was. I'd have to look back and see, but
it was just like 2 words, and she's like, I just would prefer to say it this way, and so we changed it. I mean, the biggest thing, and I know we've mentioned this before, I don't know if we've mentioned it on a team call or not, but every once in a while you'll hear about a coach buying a challenge pack for someone so they can sign up as a coach and completely like
bonus buying.
Yeah, that is illegal. It happens a lot though, unfortunately, but they're trying to like crack down on that.
Yeah.
And if you know of it, report it.
What's that?
And if you know of it, report it.
Yes, please do. I mean, I can't, and here's the reason why I say please do, because companies are shut down by, I think it's the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, because of doing stupid stuff like that. And network marketing companies have been especially targeted with that just because of, what company was it? Amway or one of the companies.
Advocare.
What was it?
Advocare. Just got in a bunch of trouble with the FTC for stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. And so did Vima, or is that?
Oh, yeah.
Vima was in trouble with them as well because they were trying to just recruit without really exchanging any products in there or without the new recruits purchasing products. So we really need to make sure that we're doing everything legit. And if you see other coaches advertising incorrectly, take a screenshot of it, send it into compliance. Don't feel like you're being a tattletale. Just think about it as you're protecting your investment in Beachbody, because we can't have these coaches out there doing that. I mean, that's just.
So I've seen a few coaches post, buy a bag of Shakeology and get this program free. And like, I know like when we have sales, you can get programs for $10, but is that illegal? Because they're saying it's for free then?
They're then like giving you the $10 back. So what was the latest on that? Because I thought you asked about that.
I don't recall.
I just
saw that one today on Facebook.
Yeah.
I thought that you were just talking about that with someone. That the wording was such that it was still like it was the $140 challenge pack, but what they were doing was the customer buys it, you give them a $10 gift card. I mean, and I guess, I don't know. I wouldn't mess with the purchase. Yeah. And the gift, it's one thing if you give someone a gift, like, okay, I want to give my mom Shakeology. I really want her to try it and feel better. That's different. When you give it to someone and they sign up like you give them the $140 so they can pay to sign up, that is where it gets like.
That's bonus buying.
Yeah.
If you give a product to somebody, a neighbor, somebody who is just not a coach, not a customer, you just want them to try it because you think it would help them, then I think, and you don't have them sign up as a coach, like here's a gift for signing up as a coach. I think
that's different.
It's different, right? Yeah.
But the bigger Beachbody gets, and that's what they were explaining to Glenn on one of the calls with Jeff Armbruster, is the bigger Beachbody gets, the more these, the federal trade is looking at them. So that's why they are cracking down on it, because we don't want to be like shut down because it's shady,
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, just keep it.
Yeah, just keep an eye out if you see something that you question. I mean, somebody on our team sent me a picture of advertisement or something about a month ago. I can't remember who it was, but I just sent that and emailed that in to Jemima and said, "Hey, have you guys seen?" Oh, it was a web page, Shakeology. Some.
Oh yeah, 2 for $200 or something.
Right, where you can get 2 bags for $100 or something, and that's where all those double orders were coming through that we were getting dinged on the back end, the fake orders.
Yeah.
It was part of that whole mayhem. So, I would definitely, and by the way, if you see that happen, if you see guys, you should be checking your volume and your customer every morning. That should be part of your power hour, is to click on customer or click on orders, my customer orders, and take a look at that and see if you have any chargebacks. And if you see a 90 or 180 points deducted, check that out, and just it's worth sending that customer number, order number into compliance and just saying, hey, is this a legit order or is this a fraudulent order? Because two things, they'll get rid of that, and I mean, I guess it cross cancels one another out, but the other thing it'll do is they will then take your name and put you back in line in order to get a new customer referral. So how if you're a Success Club 10 and you get a Shakeology lead, which is why you would get that fraudulent order in the first place, is that'll put you back in line so you get a new legit Shakeology lead. So don't ignore those minus 90s or minus 180 volume points, because you're due a new customer if that was a fraudulent order. All right. Anything else?
Oh, I just wanted to thank Courtney for the good idea with Beachbody Party. I think that worked out really well for most of us that participated, and it was a lot of fun for me anyway. So
yeah, it was fun.
Good.
I wasn't invited.
You need to write your own.
He has a pooper.
We might invite you to the next one.
What's that?
Maybe.
Every party needs a
Yeah.
pooper and a party pooper.
We invited you.
Why we invited you? All right, guys. Well, we will see you later.
Have a happy
Fun
Easter.
trip.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Dan, are you playing with a colored egg right now? Oh, there you go.
He's getting ready for Easter egg hunt.
I'm getting ready for boot camp tomorrow morning. So, actually, I don't know if you can see all around the house. I got some eggs laid out. So, we're going to have some fun tomorrow.
Is it at your house?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, man.
No, it's going to be at 440. They're going to be all over the place.